Paul, Jack Sparks on loan from Peterborough for the rest of the season, through the door this week. What will he bring to the team?
Really nice balance, really lovely left foot, great delivery, crosses into the box, wealth of experience for such a young player, playing a lot of football games, especially when you play for a big club like Portsmouth, massive football club, to have a promotion under his belt with them, to play the number of games, really good experience. Obviously played here before, unfortunately for Jack. And like all the lads who've come in, the same as JD Donantian, Kyle McFadden. We've had a real strange season as a club. We really have. We've had a real where we find ourselves today. I was only looking back to last January, where we never signed a player, and we never done that, and we had no real injuries. And the season was just such a pleasant season for everyone, in terms of how it went. This season has been really, really demanding on us as a club. And it started, if you go back to pre-season, with, Ash Palmer and Paddy Madden and the lads getting injured in pre-season. And it's been a slow process of setback after setback. We left Carlisle probably about a month ago now, wasn't it? Winning 2-0, playing reasonably well. Yet we lost Lewis Gordon and Tyrone Williams. The next week we lost Will Grigg. And it's been just a cycle of setback after setback. I really feel now we've got a group of lads back together training. We've added players that I feel are good and strong. And also we might still bring one or two in. But within that, we've got a lot of numbers in the squad and we've got to move lads on. And some of the lads who'll be moving on will have been lads who've done really well for us over a period of time. And it's just that little bit of change. But in all that, we want to be promoted. That's the big message from me to our players and our supporters. Forget everything that's gone wrong, because it has. The Bradford games and MK Don games over Christmas, the MK Dons one especially, I've never felt so helpless as a manager to watch a group of young lads working absolutely and giving everything they can for their club, and we couldn't help them. Grimsby, it got better last week. Tomorrow, hopefully, unfortunately for Darren, and I do like Darren, they're going to walk into a different Chesterfield team, which is good for us. Doesn't mean we're going to win the game, doesn't mean everything in the camp's going to be great, but we've now got numbers back. We've now got men back. We've now got a squad of players that can compete at the top end of this division. Now, tomorrow might be a difficult day. We go into Bromley Tuesday, but we've still got so much to play for this season now, Liam, amidst all the setbacks.
With the way that the league is so tight, do you really feel like there is an opportunity to do something in the second half of this season?
I just think every team will, Liam. I think no different than who you are. We're on our bad run at the minute, and everyone can have reasons to why they're on bad runs. Our bad run has come on the back of us having no players. That's what happened. It's quite simple. It's not me trying to duck out of something. I don't like losing. In fact, I go even further than I hate it. But sometimes you've got to accept what's in front of you. And what I'm saying now, especially to our fans, that's no longer the case with us now. That's no longer the case now. Our bench tomorrow will be back to being what the bigger teams in this division have. Strength in depth. Something we haven't had. And we've got it going forward. So my big rally cry to us all, and our fans know me, 21 games to go. Can we do some damage? Can we be that? Last year it was Crawley. Every year, the year before, was it Doncaster or someone who went 20 games? We don't know. But I'll tell our fans one thing, we're going to do our best to give it everything we've got.
Is it just a bit of bad luck that you've had with injuries? Or, we've spoken to Danny Webb and sort of said you've had a look into it, not ruling out other sort of maybe reasons. Do you just put it down to it's just one of those seasons, or do you look further into it? Do you investigate it a little bit more?
Well, I think like Shea had his neck operation yesterday, which went very successfully. So that's really good news for us. The big fella come back in as one of our biggest signings. To lead our back four, to be our probably captain going forward, and we haven't had him. That's just been how the season's been, and some of the injuries. You look back, they've been tough. We've had a few calf problems, which probably one or too many of them. So maybe there's something in that. But I think most teams have injuries and suspensions. I think for us, more so this year, it's just been unprecedented. You know, it's something that, like, as a manager, we've never had. I think when we beat Doncaster 3-0 at Doncaster, played really well, and we had to make 5 changes for Bromley on the Tuesday night. And I think most managers will tell you, while we all think we're tactical geniuses, we actually like picking the same team that's just won, because it normally means you're doing something right. Yeah, from Saturday at Doncaster, where we lost Dev at half time, I think, and then we lost whatever else we lost, we went to Bromley Tuesday with 5 changes. You know, and that's been a pattern all year, and we haven't had that continuity in team selection that's required. But again, as I say, the past is the past, and the most important thing for me and our club now is the 21 games to go.
Yeah, and just on Carl McFadden then, another new name, an experienced defender. I think he's got something like 4 promotions on his CV. What do you like about him as well then? I think
Carl's just got a really good name in football. Do you know, and I think sometimes, no different than senior players at clubs, we're lucky with Tom Naylors and Will Griggs and Michael Jacobs. Their CV is their CV, but their CV is also littered with characteristics of being a really good pro, a really good person, you know, someone that young lads can look up to. And then if you pattern that into being successful in their career as well, then it really does help. We tried to sign Kyle in the summer. Do you know, it was something that we tried to do. We've been trying to probably sign him for a period of time. He's very local to Chesterfield, and the biggest thing for Kyle must have been, more than anything for our fans, he desperately wanted to come and play for us in the end, and that was really big for us. Do you know, he now can have his family watching him every week. He's going to play football again, you know, and you know, for us, from training Tuesday, Thursday into Friday, integrating these lads into our team now, which is always a problem, of course it is, you know, new lads playing together, you know, but we have lads with a CV now that says, with the greatest respect, they've been there, seen it and done it. And I think when you want to be a good club, when you go into the trenches now and again, or you go into them moments like we were at Grimsby last week late on, and great credit to our players because they come through it and got a point, you know, you want lads that you know will get you where you want to be. And I'm delighted. I can only thank Phil and Ash, as always, you know, who do run this club tremendously well. You know, the continued support we get off them is unwavering. It's absolutely brilliant. You know, and then going forward, like I say, our fans now, let's come together. Our fans have been brilliant. The MK Dons support at the end and the Bradford support. Do you know, I was absolutely gutted at Bradford, I've got to be honest. Do you know, our team didn't deserve to lose that game, yet our support was absolutely magnificent. And I think, as a person who is a football fan, I think a lot of clubs have lost that now. I think a lot of fans just go to stadiums to moan and get all their anguish out them that the week's bringing them. Yeah, at Chesterfield at the minute, we've got a really good thing going, and long may it continue.
And of course, leaving the club this week, James Berry gone to Wycombe. How do you reflect on that move?
God, he's a really, really good lad, James. Really, really good lad. So talented. Brought some wonderful moments to our club, you know, in some of the goals he scored. Alongside, you know, Ryan and Dobbs and Dylan Marcandy, especially this season. You know, the players who get you off your feet. You know, he'll be a big miss for us. You know, he was very popular in the community around the town. He was very, very good doing any type of school stuff and the community work. You know, and we all wish James really well. You know, it's a great opportunity now. Wycombe have got a great chance of going up to the Championship. James has got to work really hard now to progress his career and become that player that is in there. For the club, we felt it was just a good bit of business. We had other offers for James in the window. And again, great credit to the club. They put a benchmark down of what they wanted and what they'd accept. And they got that figure, so that figure was met. And James wishes with everyone, leaves us with everyone's best wishes, and I'm sure he'll see him back at the stadium supporting the lad soon, and he'll always be very welcome.
And so still got just over a week or so of the window. You said there, maybe still looking 1 or 2 if you can.
Yeah, I love signing players. I think Ash and Phil have worked that out now, haven't they? Hey? But we've got to have outgoings, guys. I think that's quite, you know, that'll be one of the saddest parts of it. You know, the indoor, but there's an outdoor at a football club. Do you know what, as we speak now, we have too many players now. It's something we couldn't speak about last week because we didn't have enough. You know, but this day was coming. You know, and unfortunately now, for some of the players, I've got to do my best to move them on, to move them out, whether that be on loan or permanent. It's something that we've got to do because, you know, as a club that we believe is going forward, sometimes you can't go forward as quickly as other people want. In modern day football, everything's a sprint, isn't it? You know, but I think the good clubs are the ones that are patient and just keep chipping away at progress. So for us, there will be outgoings in this window without a shadow of doubt.
And just on Port Vale then, I think that was probably one of the days that we've spoken about quite a bit throughout the season as one of those disappointing days on the road. But yeah, what are you expecting again tomorrow?
First of all, it wasn't disappointing, it was shocking. I'm hoping Darren plays our first team tomorrow, because at Vale Park last time they played our under-12s. And Port Vale were excellent. Let's have it right. Port Vale on the day were excellent. Nullified us completely. And totally deserved to win the game. No issues with that. You know, Port Vale are one of the bigger clubs in the division. Like every bigger club in the division, they carry where everyone wants to beat them. Every game when you play Port Vale's a big game, but Darren's well accustomed to that after managing clubs like Sheffield Wednesday, so he just takes that in his stride. Very difficult game tomorrow. Port Vale have got good players all over the pitch, which normally means you got your hands full. You know, so it'll be a competitive game, it'll be a really good game. I think it'll be a good advert for the league, and I just think you'll see two teams trying to win a football match, and that's what I enjoy.
And was there a midweek practice match? I know you mentioned something about that last week. Was that able to go ahead?
Yeah, we had a game behind closed doors. All our players, especially the likes of John Flex and lads who've needed their moments, minutes, you know, all come through it. Michael Jacobs is back in full training now. Do you know, we've got very few. I think it's only Lewis Gordon and Will Grigg. Forgive me if I'm obviously Shea Dunkley. You know, there's only 3 out, and I think at our worst, did we get up to 14 or 15 senior players out? So as you can imagine, we've gone from an empty canteen to now you can't get your breakfast, which is absolutely heavenly, I've got to say.